Okay, so what do you want to talk about today?
I want to talk about how to block negative feelings, negative posts, anything that has to do with something that's not what I'm striving to achieve, especially, of course, when it comes to negativity. Like, right now, my job is one of the primary focuses that I'm dealing with every day. So, it's a really challenging job because, of course, it involves sales. And everything behind sales, you're like being observed. You're being watched. And that's something that it's what comes with the job because, of course, management and everybody wants to see how well you're doing, how well you're progressing, because that's how they determine whether they want to keep you or whether they should let you go. So to them, it's all about numbers, and percentages. So with me going into this new Buckhead location, of course, I'm one of the most primarily people that they're watching because they want to know if they did a good job selecting the design consultants to go to this new location, right? So the location that I'm at now, Town Center, is a high volume store. There's a lot of sales associates that's working there, and all of them are pretty much veterans. They've been in the game for like 15 years. So I'm not using this as an excuse, but, I'm going up against some people who've been in the game for a minute. So anyways, how it works is, of course, if you're new, you go down to the bottom of the list as far as seeing customers. So when it comes to me, I sometimes don't get to see somebody until 2 to 3 hours after my shift started. So, I know we just talked about the wordplay, but I just want to get it out so you can understand where I'm at. It's just a little discouraging because I'm sitting here waiting for my opportunity, waiting for somebody to, come in and ready to see the excitement on furniture and me using my skills and talent on helping them design their space. And finally, I have this opportunity, and I get this person who is just very nonchalant, seems like they're uninterested, seems like they don't want to be bothered. They do a lap around the store, and then walk out. So after 2 or 3 hours waiting for somebody, that's the result I get. It bothers me just a little bit because I was just anxious for this opportunity to happen, and within the blink of an eye, that's how I get a result from. That's my result. Another thing is that, like going back to the whole numbers thing, they're concentrating on how my numbers look so much. At first, to me, all I was worrying about is doing the best that I can and showing that I have the skills and the knowledge set to perform and to sell. I sell my talent and design. But I just feel like all these people care about is numbers. Like, what's my average ticket like? What's my close ratio? Close ratio means how many people I saw versus, selling to them. All they care about, did I sell this protection plan or did I not? And it's showing all of these low numbers. Now, again, that kind of ties back to, going against all these veterans that's been in the game, and they have so much more advantages than I do. Like for example, they get to go first, or they get to cut in line, or, they use all these sales strategies that hasn't really been explained that we can do versus, we can't do. So I'm still juggling on what we can and can't do. You know, there's just all of this promotion into one basket. And, you know, it's just, and I work with a lot of grumpy people. And like I said, they've been in the game for a while, so obviously they're quite up there in age as far as, you know, having, you know, a family and all. They're in their 40s plus. So I'm working with a lot of grown adults that always talk about problems, always talk about people, always like saying some negative stuff. And at first, everybody was cool because I was introduced to the store. So everybody was welcoming with open arms, and I was the new kid on the block. Everybody was being nice, but slowly but surely, as I've been getting to know these people, these coworkers, they really grumpy. You know, all they do is complain, talk about people. And like I said about the numbers thing, I'm being called into the office to be like, all right, look at your numbers and blah 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 blah. And like I said, I get it. That's what's part of the job. But I feel like though, I shouldn't be judged based on my numbers. And I feel like though, those things, all of those things that I just explained, is bringing me down. And I don't want that to happen. I'm trying my very best to allow that not to happen. You know, because I see my potential. I see how well my talent is. And I just can't wait to perform that. So that's why I can't wait to move to this new location, because this new location is actually going to stand me out a little bit more. You know, people say, oh, they look at you as a young figure, so they don't really trust you. Town Center is more of a older crowd, and for an older couple to come in, it's very hard for them to trust a younger salesman because they feel as though they don't know what they're talking about. You know, I get these things every day. And the fact that I'm a male, and when I present myself as a designer, they kind of give me the weary eye, like, really? You? And it's like, it's kind of annoying, you know, because I hate when, well, let me not say hate, I dislike when people automatically judge. And if you just give me the opportunity to show you that I can assist you on designing your living room, then you may be surprised at what I can offer you. You know, so it's just little things like that. So I'm noticing because of that, it's affecting my day. And, you know, me and you, we go way back to the point where we know how to control those thoughts. And we've been taught how to control those thoughts. But those thoughts can be very, very powerful at times. And it doesn't help when nobody's on your side, you know. Okay. And, of course, you know, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, man. You go.
Oh, I was going to say, you know, of course I have family on my side, best friends like you on my side, to give me the encouragement and the words that I need to hear to uplift my spirit. At the same time, it's like I can't wait for that opportunity to finally come and to finally see results that I've been praying on and I've been waiting for. And I know that it's coming. It's just very difficult to block those negative thoughts and negative people and not allow that to affect who I am and how I believe in myself. Because it's showing, because I'm not selling, I'm not exceeding to my maximum potential. You know, I come home so tired, I don't feel like doing anything. I tell myself, well, I'm going to do this, and that. I have all my ducks laid out in a row. But by the time I get home, I don't want to do anything because I'm like so tired from work. And I don't want to live that lifestyle. I want to go to work happy. I want to go to work knowing that I'm being rewarded by God's blessing, come home, be happy to see my family, things like that. But the energy that I'm receiving is not the energy that I want.
Okay, so you said a lot, right? So let's see. So I guess we'll start here. Because my first question would be, so what do you find yourself focusing on the most? And I don't really have to ask that question because you're telling me. So just to be kind of blunt about it, and, we'll start that way, then we'll kind of hash it out a little bit. But it just sounds like you are now focusing on all the things that you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And because I know that but when you focus on all the things that you don't like, what do you get?
Just that.
Right. More of what you don't like. So when I was listening to you and you said you may have to, you may have to wait about 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours after your shift starts before you get the first client, before the first person walks in the door. So my question is, what are you thinking about while you're waiting?
Well, some firms, to be honest, I utilize that time as much as possible, like catch up with other customers as far as my previous people that I saw, do follow-up calls, send out emails, things like that. And, I sit and pray at times, things like that.
Okay. So I'm going to go back to what I said. It just sounds like you found yourself in a space to where what you don't want, it has become your point of attraction. You know what I mean by point of attraction, right? So that's the most dominant thought. So that's what you're attracting. So you just kind of have to find a way to shift that. So let's kind of talk about some of the things that you said, and then we can kind of clean it up. Because the first thing, or one of the things that you said was going up against, right? So you feel like you're going up against a veteran.
Yeah.
And I get what you're saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how can we clean that up a little bit? Because if you feel like you're going up against, you feel that, like you feel the resistance in that statement, right?
Yeah.
So how can we just clean that up a little bit? I mean, even if you just said I work with a lot of veterans, there's a little bit of ease in that. You know what I'm saying? You could feel the difference in it, even though we're not there yet. You could still feel the ease just by saying, I work with a lot of veterans.
Okay.
You see the difference? So I will kind of start there, and that's what I want to do. Like I said, we could just kind of start with baby steps and, to start cleaning it up a little bit. So I would stay away from feeling like you're going up against anybody.
Okay.
Right. And understand that I do get it, right? But it's really not about that stuff. It's really about you and how you feel. And I know you know that too. So it's really about you and how you feel. So I don't want you to think that I'm minimizing the outside stuff, but really the outside stuff is a result of the inside stuff. So when we clean the inside stuff, the outside stuff will be cleaned up.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you said I can't wait a couple of times. You said, I can't wait. I can't wait till I go to the new Buckhead location. Then you said I can't wait till the results become, what I know they're going to become. So really what that's saying is that you're not okay with what is. In order to really get what you want or get something different, you have to become okay with what is. And I think I shared this with you before. One statement that I say is I am where I am and it's okay. Like I am where I am and it's okay. Let me start there. Right? Because for one, I wanted the job, right? And you know all the circumstances surrounding the job, right? With the last job and all of that and how it came and how you sold yourself, like all of those things. So it's something that was borderline a miracle of how it happened. It's something that I wanted, and it's something that I have. Mm-hmm. But now I can't wait for it to be different. So you see the contrast in that?
Yeah.
So to find a way to remain grateful, and I know that you are, but consciously find a way to remain grateful for what is. Because even if you have to revisit those thoughts sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to can't wait for it to be different, you have to clean that up a little bit too. So I would say in order to clean that up, like, what do you like about your job? Like, what's good about it?
Well, just being around the field that I studied, the whole design aspect, because that's primarily my interest. That's what I like and that's what I enjoy. So that in itself is what I like about the job. Another thing is that I meet so many people. Like I've learned how to become a people-oriented guy. I've always been shy all my life. I've always been, not the first person to talk. But this job has allowed me to open up to all kinds of people, like interested people, non-people that's not interested, like all types of interest in this design or that design, people who just even are openly to talk about non-business stuff. And I seem to engage with a lot of people. So I've become more of a people-oriented person. That's another thing I like about the job. And just the opportunity that you can potentially get. The better you get at sales, and the better opportunity you have to succeed with the company. And that's what I like too, because I know that I could get there. It may take a while, but I know that I can get there.
So how do you feel? How do you feel now, just hearing yourself say those things? Because I even feel better.
It reminded me in the first place why I took the job. So yeah, it does make me feel better when I say that, because I tend to lose track about those particular thoughts on why I got this job when all this other stuff is happening. So it makes me feel better.
So so I guess what I would suggest is when you have those moments, go back to that, shift to what you're grateful for, right? And it's a win-win situation, because if you shift to what you're grateful for and you start to feel the feeling of gratitude, then the things around you have to shift to that, because what you think about, what you feel about, and what manifests is always the perfect match, right? You remember that.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. So to go back to what you're grateful for, and I know, see, on the surface, you're always grateful, right? But when things become a little challenging, we have to start deliberately going there. Like, we have to do it intentionally. So I would say that, when things get like that, so while you're waiting, I would spend a little bit more time with me, my thoughts, and my feelings while you're waiting. And have fun with it, too. And you know how to do that. Have fun with it.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like, and I don't know this to be true, but it kind of sounds like you may be subconsciously expecting the person to come in when it's your turn to be how they are. And even if you're not expecting it, you're still attracting it.
Yeah, that's I can say that's true.
Right. So you're getting it, So that's what I'm saying. The law of attraction is what it is, always. So because you are not only expecting it, you're feeling it. There's no way you can't get it. Right? So to think, just to play with it a little bit, just to think, I don't really care how many people go before me, because the person that comes in when it's my turn, I will make more money than everybody that went before me. So I don't even care about that.
Okay.
So it's really shifting the thought process, which would then affect the feeling, which would then affect the result. So I challenge you to think more about what you're thinking about.
Okay.
And to always be, this is the thing, if it feels good, keep doing it. If it don't feel good, stop doing it. Same thing with thinking. If the thoughts don't feel good, stop thinking them, right? Find something that feels good. And there's a lot of things, even outside of work, that you could use in work to feel good, which means, there's a lot of positive things happening in your life, so just to focus on those.
Yeah.
Okay. So quick question. So what do you see the end result being? When I said the end result, not like, let's see. Because you said, I see it happening. You said, I could see it happening. So what is it? What are you talking about when you say it?
Everything that I thought about when I first got the job.
Okay, yeah, let's stay there for a second. Let's
okay.
stay there for 1 second. Okay, because I'll go back to something else that you said earlier when you said, I know that it's coming. I guess we could connect that to faith, and we could connect it to positive expectations and all those things. However, there's a better way to say it, right? And you kind of have to know that everything is happening right now. See, because to put it off in the future, okay, let me say it this way. If I'm focusing on something coming, what would I get?
That
something coming. I would get something coming.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. So it will always be coming.
Oh,
right. I was waiting on that.
Okay, so how would you say it? You would say it that it's here?
It's happening now. Everything is happening now. The numbers are happening now, right? Because think about it. Let's connect the dots. The numbers are happening right now because I know the next person that walks in the door, no matter how many people went before me, I will make more money. It's happening now. The next time I go in the office, I will not have that same type of conversation because it's happening right now. And I say go from happening now because it's steps. Happening now, and then at some point you make it go to it's already here because it has to be believable for you. So that's why I wouldn't jump all the way to it's here. You know what I'm saying? Because that's kind of challenging for people because whatever, right? Because it's not here. But it is happening.
True.
So I would encourage you also to stop putting it off into the future. Because if it's coming, it's going to always be coming. Think about things in your life that you let go of. Like you knew, okay, even the new car, right? Like I remember go back to the Honda. If you go back to the Honda, that was years ago. Go back to the Honda. And then, with the accident with that. And then, remember I even told you then, I said, you're the first person I know that attracted a whole car because you did that too, the Mazda. You remember?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you knew that you wanted something different, right? And you knew to the point where you didn't worry about it anymore. You didn't really have to think about it every day. You just knew. And then quote unquote, all of a sudden, right? Things don't just happen all of a sudden, but we'll just say that.
Yeah.
And now you have a brand new car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
Well, yeah. So that's what's happening now. But see, the thing is, you're so focused on what's not, and you're so focused on what you want to be different, and you're focused on what's coming versus all the good that's happening now.
True.
And I know that you know this, but at the end of the day, when you feel good, you get good. So you have to care more about how you feel. And I find myself saying that to a lot of people, but you really have to care more about how you feel, because if you care about how you feel, these people and these numbers and all of that, it wouldn't affect you because you would not allow yourself to feel anything less than good. Because I care about how I feel. So this conversation, I get it. I'll go through it with you. I'll navigate through the charts and all of that stuff with you. But at the end of the day, when I walk out the office, because I care about how I feel, I'm going to choose to feel good regardless of what that conversation sounded like. Because when I feel good, I get good.
Right. That's more like it. That's like the things that I need to hear in order to, like I said, uplift my spirit to get out of that zone and start focusing more on what you just explained.
Just stay on the positive side. That's all. Just stay on the positive side.
Mm.
Go back to when you're at the job. Go back to why, and go back to what you. And this is the thing with you, because you always know, like you know, like you said, you know that the results, if I use your words, are coming. You know that without a doubt. However, like I said, the disconnect there is that you think they're coming later. All you have to do is know that they're coming now, and then they'll start to come now.
But yeah, I think that's what my primary issue was, is that I was too focused on, it coming. I feel as though I was on the right track on knowing that it's on the way. But like you said, if I continue to always think that, that's what's always going to happen. It's always going to come. It's always going to get better. But then
think about this. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Oh, go ahead.
But think about this. Did you spend a lot of time knowing that the car was going to come? No. You didn't think about that every day. Like, I know it's coming. I know it's coming. I know it's coming. No. You wanted a new car, then you let it go, and it came. Right?
True.
You didn't spend every day thinking about it. Like, okay, I know it's coming. I know it's coming. I know it's coming. Even this job. Well, it's interesting because the job, you did know something was coming. You did know something was coming. And then, we had a couple sessions in between that. And then I think is when you let that go is when this showed up. So it's really about the letting go piece of it.
So does it tie back to the believing part? When you ask for it, you believe and then receive?
Right, because see, the moment that you ask, it's given, right? That's what Abraham Hicks said. But the moment that you ask is given. So when you ask, it's there. But the reason that you can't see it is because you're not in alignment with it, if I just use those words. You're not in alignment with it, which means the feelings don't match.
Okay.
You need me to say that again or differently?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and this is a little out there, but I know your foundation, so I know you'll get it. So the moment that you ask for something, it's there, right? It's there. I mean, you could say we could talk about the law of attraction or we could talk about God, right? Because even the Bible says, asking it is given, right? So when you ask, it's available to you, but you have to be able to receive it. And you can't receive good feeling bad.
Yeah. That's
so
true.
I would say to answer your question more directly, I don't know that it's the believing because I know that you believe. I know that you believe. It's just about knowing about two things, about letting it go, right?
Mm-hmm.
You said, the first thing that you said to me earlier was let go, I'm letting God do his thing. Well, you kind of feel good about that. If you truly believe, this is connecting all your words, but if you truly believe, you could feel good about him doing his thing, right? Not anxious about him doing his thing, because, again, you want to go to the Bible says be anxious for nothing. So I'm feeling relief with you, like letting go. Because you're clear about what you want, right? You're clear about what you want, and you do believe that it's going to happen. It's just cleaning up the vibration. It's just feeling good now so you can get good now.
Yeah. And another thing with me is that I think I need to get into the mindset of when it doesn't happen to continue to believe.
Well, and this is the thing. You've been there before. And remember I told you when you were going through that last situation, I said, please remember all of this, right? Because that was really a setup. That was a setup. So everything that you're being taught in this particular situation, you're going to need later. So you've been there. You've done that before, right? So I would just say go back to it. Like, just rethink that process because you've been there before. So it's nothing that I need to say because you've been there, done that. And the universe or God, however you want to put it, offered you evidence of that. And the evidence is the job. How ironic is that? But the evidence is the job because look how many times what happened at the last job, and you kept believing every single time. Then you'll get discouraged, but then you'll keep believing. So you've been there. You just got out of that.
Yeah. Just got out of that.
Right.
Yeah.
So now you can't pretend like you don't know. Or act like go back to it. Go back to it and say, okay, I've been there, done that. I'm not doing that anymore. So that's something with a little focus I think you could get over quickly.
Okay.
Because it just happened.
Yeah. I know how it is because I've been there.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to check. I'm sorry?
I was going to say that that was inspiring because it really helped me get my mind off of, certain things that helped me get back on track.
Right.
It just felt like, in a nutshell, I was swerving. And I said,
Good word.
remember to stay straight and stay in your lane and just keep going.
Right. That's a great word, too. That's a great word. So, and it's a great analogy. I mean, think about it. So just be able to know when you're swerving, as you put it, and then choose to feel good.
Yeah.
So, and see, that too connects with being okay with where you are. I'm swerving and it's okay, but guess what? The positive thing about that is I know how to get back on track.
Yeah.
If you were swerving and didn't know how to get back on track, what would happen? You would crash. Eventually, right?
Yep.
So how you feeling now?
Better. I'm feeling a lot better. Now I'm feeling like I can go to work and knowing that based on this conversation, I know how to channel my thoughts and I know what to channel out.
Let's say that differently. Okay, because I know how to channel my thoughts. That's good. Let's say I know how to. Hold on, let me think for 1 second. Oh, I know how to choose what not to feel about. I'm going to say that again because I want you to get it. I know what not to feel about. So
I know
in other words,
what not to feel about. Okay.
Right. So now I'm not going to feel about people going first. I'm not going to feel about, people being able to cut in line. I'm not going to feel about something else that you said. I'm not going to feel about people being negative, right? Because one thing that I can't control is how other people are. So there's no need for me to start feeling about it. Because if I start to feel about how they are, I'm going to still get it. I'm still going to attract what I'm feeling about. So I'm not going to let that do that to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're grumpy, and they can be grumpy all the time as long as they want to. But when you start to feel negative because they are grumpy, you start to get more negative. You see how it works?
I definitely, because that's what I was saying earlier. That I'm noticing that. And me, sometimes I don't even realize it. I have to literally stop myself to realize it. That I'm feeding off of their energy, and I don't want that. Because when they start being grumpy and negative and nasty, then it allows me to think of the thoughts that I was explaining to you this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of realize that I needed to stop myself in my tracks and focus back on staying in my lane. Because like you said, they can be grumpy and nasty and all that all they want to, but, you know, I know how I am and I know what I believe.
Right, because it really does not affect you until you start to feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they are that way doesn't affect you until you start to feel about it. So that's why I said earlier, now you know what not to feel about.
Right.